another video. Your girl Melissa Ford on a new episode of the Joe Budden podcast actually responds once again, but lets everyone know the insight of what was really going on behind the scenes. She mentions all the threats and the evil and nasty things people were saying about her during this controversy with Camron. Now, everybody knows my stance on this. Yes, she was wrong. Yes, she apologized. But they owe Camron a heads up and an explanation for the things if they were going to release what she said for insinuating them being in either messing with minors or being in a place of underage people at the whorehouse. Joe has her back, Flip has her back, but my issue is, again, y'all owed it to Cam. Y'all owe it to anybody y'all talk about, especially if you know it's gonna be something salacious, something crazy. Y'all owe it to that person to let them know what's going on behind the scenes. You are talking about people behind the scenes, and you are affecting people's professional careers. Like, I don't know, this is some kind of word salad thing going on, some kind of victimization, I'm a victim now type of thing. But I don't buy it 100% from nobody on the podcast. But I rock with the podcast, and yes, I think Pam should have chilled out and accepted the apology, but you can't control how people are going to react. We have her response right here, and yet the things she went through are scary, and it's sad that people would do this. I'm going to play this clip real quick, and then I'll come back with the rest of my commentary.
Despite your face.
I mean, I will say that the dog whistling was effective. I mean, I'll just say that. The dog whistling was effective. It was...
She talking woman code.
No, it was just ugly. It was just ugly. Like, the response, to everything. And just like the onslaught of attacks that I received was just like wild. The things that were being said to me, and it's like, like old washed, blah, 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 all that stuff. And, like water off a duck's back, but like saying things like I should be and
Jesus.
It's just, it's like wildly uncalled for. Like, it's really vile. You know what I mean? And I don't like, when you look at what the situation was, it just doesn't call for the kind of reaction that it became, and it's just like, in order to protect like my mental health, I had to take a very, very, very like a few steps back and put people in place in order to try to shield me from it.
Sure.
And, so.
That's disgusting. Sorry you went through that.
Well, I mean, when misogyny just goes unchecked, it's dangerous. And that's just a reality that women have to kind of live with and experience, especially when you're, a public figure and you're forward facing and stuff like that. And you say something that people just don't like or they misinterpret or whatever the case was, regardless if you apologize afterwards.
Right.
All right, you heard it. It's a lot wrong with that statement, and it is wrong for people to actually say she should be, the R word and things like that, and attacking her like to that degree. But I still can't understand why these type of words are coming out her mouth, as far as saying you have to deal with all this misogyny. It wasn't it you first who said something that insinuated Camron and Mace were doing something they should have been doing? Like, I don't get that. I understand you're a podcaster, yeah, you got to do what you have to do, but I don't get that. Like it'll be different if you were a journalist and you uncovered something, but this wasn't even something you knew about. You don't even know him like that to do things like that. I don't understand what's going on with this. And to try to do a victimization thing, I think you should just stand up way more. Say, hey, I don't appreciate all the bad things that's been said about me, and you should double down on being wrong. Double down on being wrong. And that's all you have to do. But see, and this is a problem I have with black people. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going on the tangent now. This is the problem I have with black people. They think that, hey, I apologize, you should accept my apology. No. If you say something wrong and that person does not apologize, it's your duty to keep letting him know that you are very sorry about what happened. To say, hey, I apologize and just brush it off, you could piss somebody off even worse. And see, this is it. Black people have no real compassion. Like, was your apology even real? Was your apology even real? If you don't have the compassion to say, hey, you know what? I don't appreciate all this. I made a mistake. You should have been saying it more and more often. And if Cam keeps attacking you, he has that right to do it. He did not have y'all names in his mouth or nothing. I really can't believe what's going on right now. I love the Joe Budden Butt podcast. I love the new cast. It took me a while to like them really well, but I love it. I love it. You know, it's giving me passion to create my own stuff. But I have a deep problem with what she's saying. I really do. Because you're trying to flip the narrative to as he's weaponizing his words to attack you. And he was just responding to some bullshit that was said. And being a public figure, you should know you're gonna get backlash. Joe Budden podcast is full of people, backlashing and saying things and going after people when things are being said or misinterpreted. It wasn't a misinterpretation. You misinterpreted what Camron and Mace was saying. Period, point blank. They didn't say anything about underage girls or doing anything crazy. They did an experience. It was their experience. And you flipped it on his head. And you only apologized once. And this part of the podcast seems so disingenuous, or whatever the word is. But it doesn't seem real when you apologize, then say, hey, I apologize, but look at what they're doing to me. I'm a victim now. Nah, To that person, accepts your apology. I'm sorry. You're in the firing squad. Black people, y'all gotta stop that. Y'all gotta stop. Do something fucked up. Apologize. Say, well, I apologize. You gotta be humble and gracious. You gotta be humble and gracious. I'm sorry. Until that person fully accepts what you said, because they're upset. They're upset. And that's the bottom line. That's the thing that Joe Budden and all that's the thing they don't soak in. They don't give a fuck about. You could have messed up this man's whole career just by insinuating this. And I would be 1,000 times angry too. So it's good. It's a good, really good topic to talk about. And I wish they would go more into depth. And I wish it was more things to go into depth. But this is really interesting how women change the narrative, even though they're in the wrong. Y'all check this out. She's 100% wrong. She apologized once. he didn't accept the apology. Now she's the victim. Crazy. You see how crazy that is? That is a mind fuck. That's a person playing with your mind. And I'm glad we have so many podcasts and so many different people hitting this topic from different angles, because it's needed. And this is how women actually play the game. And this is why I think Joe Budden wanted a woman on a podcast, because when controversy hits, they're able to turn that corner and say, hey, I apologize. I'm a victim now. He should accept my apology. No. You can't make him accept it. He will accept it when he's ready to accept it. And that's similar to somebody killing one of your family members. You don't have to accept that person killing your family member. Sometimes it takes years before somebody accept the fact that somebody killed your family member. Y'all think about that. Think about it. And I didn't mean to get it all serious, man. I meant to play around with this a little more than I was, but it really strikes a nerve with me to see how she flipped the narrative. And I'm curious to for the rest of the day and for the rest of the weeks to come to see how this plays out. And I'm definitely gonna report back on this again, because this is very interesting. Y'all remember what I say now. Y'all remember what I say, how she flipped the narrative. So we're gonna see how that